to this ET report, the former RBI Governor Urjit Patel's new book points to reasons that led to his exit from the central bank in 2018. It suggests that it was the RBI's bid to close loopholes in IBC and tighten the screws on corporate borrowers that were at the heart of this dispute. Poonam Sani joins in with details.
In fact, yes, it is an interesting book, and the name of the book is Overdraft, Saving the Indian Saver, and this is by the former RBI Governor, Mr. Urjit Patel. In fact, he does mention about the several loopholes in the IBC and the fact that the tussle between the Bank of India and the Finance Ministry, and according to the book, it seems that the tussle over tightening of loopholes in the IBC led to an early exit of Urjit Patel. In fact, the book mentions that the disposition with respect to the IBC, or more generally in the conviction of the pathway, perceptibly changed and it became a defensive ground. It also mentions that instead of buttressing and future-proofing the gains that the Reserve Bank of India, the entire financial system had made by then in terms of recognition of NPAs, an atmosphere to go easy came in through. And until then, Urjit Patel writes that until then, for the most part, the finance minister and I were on the same page, with frequent conversations on enhancing the landmark legislation's operational efficiency. So, Mubina, yes, the book does point out that until a long time, Finance Minister and RBI were on the same page in terms of making IBC more operationally efficient. But then the fact that RBI was in favor of tightening the rules and plugging the loopholes of IBC led to a tussle between them. He also mentioned that the IBC was followed with a circular on February 12, 2018, and that made the NPA recognition more stricter. The book mentions also about the lobby groups that exist and how do those lobby groups lead to policy and regulation reversal. Mr. Patel writes, sowing disorder by confusing issues is a tried and trusted, distressingly often successful routine by which stakeholders, official and private, plant the seeds of policy or regulation reversal in India. He also mentions that from July 2018 onwards, the IBC was felt, at least by some lobby groups, to be constraining and too strict on borrowers in terms of regulatory timelines, and to an extent, even the lawyers who had agreed to represent the RBI in Supreme Court dropped out at the 11th hour, literally the night before the hearing. So the former RBI governor does highlight the existence of the lobby groups as well, which lead to several policy reversals. To recall, Mubina, not just this, there were also many differences between RBI and the government in terms of the PCA norms, in terms of transfer of excess capital from RBI to the government, and also in terms of declaring a borrower a defaulter the day after missing a payment. So a lot of other differences also existed between RBI and Finance Ministry at that point in time. Having said that, the book also mentions that that the inadequacies of the Reserve Bank of India also exist. So besides the IBC, he also points out that there were certain inadequacies earlier within RBI, and that has also been pointed out in that book. So all in all, it is a good book and a must read, I guess, for all those who would be interested in how the RBI as well as the Finance Ministry functions.
Well, I guess, Poonam, largely, one would think that or at least the most publicly spoken about point of contention between the RBI and the government was just the transfer of the excess reserves. But yes, clearly, Urjit Patel's book is definitely going to open a Pandora's box, I guess. But thanks, Poonam, for summarizing it all up.